Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Super Mario Wonder. So I finished the game a while ago, but I've just been kind of sitting on it, just, thinking this over how I want to approach this review, because I've just been kind of fed up with the way I've been doing my other ones, where just like, it's gotten to the point where I don't even like it myself, it's just kind of boring. So I've been thinking of like a new way to basically just like write a review, just because just going over like the things I like and don't like is just not really cutting it for me. Like just editing it, I'm just like, how this is boring. So I think I've just kind of like, from starting here on out, I'm gonna use this new system where I kind of just go over like the 5 core aspects that I think are like really important to a good game, which is gameplay, visuals, soundtrack, and plot. And yeah, that's just kind of like the criteria I'm going to be using from now on when I'm doing videos. But yeah, other than that, let me just jump right into like the normal part. So my experience with the series so far, honestly, this is Mario. Like basically everyone else, I've been playing this. This is like one of the first games you ever play. Like straight up, Mario Kart Wii was like the first game I really ever played. And not long after that, maybe like a year or two after I played that for the first time, I played Super Mario Galaxy, which is like when I was like, okay, this is like really special. Like there's something different about games than like any other like entertainment. So, or like any other entertainment form. So that's like basically the game that made me a gamer. So Mario has a very special place in my heart. But then there's 2D Mario, and I kind of started out with like, the Wii generation stuff, and kind of worked my way backwards after that. So I played just about every 2D Mario game except for the Mario Land games on Game Boy. And I mean, it's Mario. It's fun. There's a reason everyone likes it. There's a reason it sells amazingly. It's Mario. But yeah, after like the new Super Mario Bros. Series, it kind of seemed like it died out, but mainly because people were kind of just fed up with like the same game, kind of being re-released with different levels every year. I mean, I definitely think it got worse over time, but I still liked it overall. Like I was never like not liking the game. It was just like wasn't my favorite. But I thought that it did need some time to take a little break, and yeah, and now we have Super Mario Wonder, which is like hopefully the new generation of 2D Mario, because I hope they don't end it with just this. But, with that out the way, let's get to reviewing. With that out the way, I'll just throw my thoughts out there about the game overall. The first thing that I need to talk about is the gameplay overall. There are a couple like core aspects to gameplay that I think are important when talking about a game. And the first of which is the difficulty. And there are 2 ways to approach this. So the first approach is, do I think that the difficulty is like well balanced? And that's more of a subjective take, because everyone has different difficulty tolerances. And then there's the other side of it, which is like, is the difficulty fitting for the game? And so for that, on that front, I think that the difficulty of this game is actually very appropriate. Like even at the beginning of levels, it'll tell you like what the difficulty is. So if one is more difficult than another, you don't necessarily have to tackle it unless it's like required of you to complete that world. But from a personal standpoint, I do think that the game is a little bit too easy. I think when it comes to 2D platformers, Donkey Kong Country is like the peak of like good challenging game. Like it's not hard, but it's challenging. You will die a good amount of times, especially on the special zones. I think the special zones in Mario Wonder were probably like the only times I died at all. And it might have just been like a couple times, except for like the very, very last level, which is like, testing everything, in which I maybe died about 20-ish times. But if this was a Donkey Kong game, and I'm on the super hard level, maybe 50 or 60, like it'll be up there sometimes. But I think that that's really the difficulty I wanted, but it wasn't necessarily appropriate for a Mario game. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the difficulty we had. I just maybe wish we had like a couple more difficult levels in the special world. With that out the way, So next for gameplay, I think that just the overall mechanics that they brought into the 2D Mario formula have been really nice. Like the Wonder Seeds will just basically turn the entire level on its head. Just completely flip the table over. Like everything is different now. And that does add a lot of like unexpected fun. And of course, instead of like star coins, which you had in the new Super Mario Bros. Games, now you have the 10 count purple coins or whatever you call them. Which I think are nice. I like to have little collectibles like that in the levels because, making sure you're actually not just running to the end as fast as possible, but you're actually taking the time to enjoy the level structure. And the most single-handedly important thing with a game in terms of its gameplay is the game fun? And it's Mario. It's fun. It's Miyamoto approved. Miyamoto has done he said some questionable things about, game philosophy, but the number one thing I can agree on that he does is he's 100% on the back of gameplay needs to be fun. Without gameplay, it might as well just be a movie. Like, if the game isn't fun, why bother? And I can definitely say this game is a blast for anyone. I really enjoyed the gameplay of this game. I thought it was a great, innovative way to reboot the series. In terms of visuals, I think the art style of this game is absolutely incredible. With the new Super Mario Bros. Series, they all looked very distinct. And it's just like the generic Mario, look. But with Mario Wonder, it just, everything pops a lot more. Like, when you get a power-up, you get the little silhouette in the background showing that, what you got. It just makes everything a lot more flashy and colorful, which is really what Mario is. It's a very colorful, series. Like, in comparison to the new Super Mario Bros. Series, it's kind of drab, actually. Like, this art style puts all those other ones to shame. When it comes to the soundtrack in a game, there are really two factors that I think are important. The first is it even good? And the second is, does it get annoying or repetitive as the game goes on, depending on how much you hear it? So, in regards to the first of, is it good? I think for a Mario game, this is pretty good. It's not up there with stuff like Super Mario Galaxy, but in terms of the 2D Marios, it's probably the best. It's better than any of the new Super Mario Bros. Series, so I still think that it did a very good job with the soundtrack. And I don't think that any song in particular got repetitive or annoying over time, just because you're never really spending too much time in one singular space, so it never really got the chance to get repetitive, which is a good thing. When I was making my criteria for rating games, when I was thinking of the plot itself, I kind of just decided that some games don't really have a plot, and it's really just there to explain why, you're even going through the game at all, to, go through the gameplay, which is the fun part. There are really just two avenues for what I think should be rated when rating a game. And that is the plot even really necessary? Because, honestly, who plays a Mario game for the plot? It's not really the driving factor of the game at all. The driving factor of Mario is that it's just clean fun for everyone. You know what you're getting into when you play a Mario game. It's just going to be fun. You're not there for the story, because the story is usually always pretty similar to almost every other one. Bowser's up to some mischief and you gotta stop him, whether it be, kidnapping Peach, or in this case, becoming a castle. So I think that in this case, the plot doesn't necessarily need to be good. It just needs to suffice in being able to motivate the player into playing through the game. And I think that it does a good job of that. I don't think that this game should be penalized because, the plot isn't good. It wasn't meant to be good. That's not what the point of the game was. So, I'm not gonna, take off just because, the story sucked. Yeah, what'd you expect? It wasn't meant to be good. It's just meant to explain why you're even doing it. So, overall, I definitely think that in terms of, games that I played that have actually come out this year, this is definitely one of the best. I was just really, really surprised at how much I liked this, especially coming back, all these years later from playing the new Super Mario Bros. Games. So, the rating for this game is definitely just really good. I'm also thinking of reforming my rating standards, which I've already done like twice. At first, I just had like a letter grading scale, like A plus, B minus, or whatever. Then I didn't like that, so I moved on to a number scale out of 7, and then I started disliking that. So now I'm just gonna give it like a description going from bad to good. So at the top you have like must play. This is like fantastic. If you don't play this, what's wrong with you? Then you have like amazing. This is just straight cream of the crop stuff. This is great. And then you have below that is great. It's decently, it's pretty good. I recommend it. Then you have like good, like yeah, it's good. And then meh, and then bad and terrible and so on. So I think for Mario Wonder, I'm definitely giving this like an amazing score. Like it's not masterpiece stuff. Like if you sleep on this, like you're definitely missing out, but it's not like are you even a gamer? What are you doing? This is a classic. I think in time maybe it could grow more, but as of right now, I think I'm satisfied with just calling it an amazing game. I do wish that we might either get like some like DLC or like a sequel in the same vein as New Super Luigi U, where they just take all the same assets, just make new stages, but make them really hard and really fun. Because that's probably one of the best 2D. That's probably the best thing that came from the new Super Mario Bros. Series. It was Luigi U was just so good. So yeah, in spite of like my couple of criticisms about the difficulty, even though it's fitting it, could have maybe used a couple more of those challenge levels. I think this game is incredible, and I literally recommend this for everyone. And with that, let me know what y'all thought in the comments. I'll see y'all later.